Okay, so 15th of January 2021, a couple of minutes before the market open, the FTSE. Got a 1 second chart up here because looking at the previous few minutes, there wasn't really a huge amount of volatility, which is the key thing which drives success in what I'm trying to do here. So gone to the 1 second chart, see if there's, with that greater degree of resolution, whether there's still a potential signal or indicator to pick up on into the final minute before trading. What actually happens on the London Stock Exchange from 7:50 until 8 o'clock, or 7:59 and 59 seconds, is many of the shares, I don't know about all of the equities, all of the stocks, but at least many of the big ones go to auction. So you will get usually more volatility in the last 10 minutes than you would have done from the 7:40 to 7:50 segment. And obviously immediately 8 o'clock the market is completely open and then subject to the buy and sell forces. But this is the last minute, but in the pre-market there's not a lot going on. It's quite a narrow range there that price is trending up and down between 6778 and 6772, so 6 points. It's not unusual, but it's not looking that favourable, hence looking at the 1 second chart, because any other larger time frame wouldn't really work. So yeah, now into the market open, you can see the difference still between the auction and the market actually being open. So it looks pretty violent, but remember this is a 1 second chart, so appearances can be deceiving. Switch to the 1 minute chart there. You can see it's really tight. It's really oscillating up and down, up and down. For like the past 20 minutes or so. It's really not been going anywhere at all. So just watching this first minute to see if there is an opportunity to get into the market. Sometimes there isn't. If the market doesn't present an opportunity, there is just nothing you can do. You don't go in expecting to trade. You go in expecting to read the market accurately and make a sensible decision. But one of the signals is just about to, looks like it's going to play out here. So place the trade. It's not great, it's not perfect, it's perfect, but it's not great and not as strong as it has been on other days. Having said that, yep, typically almost instantly go into profit, as is normally the case. A little bit of breathing room, put in the stop loss. Now it's a case of whether or not it's actually going to go down to something decent enough that's going to be worth taking. It's hovering. You can see, don't expect too much out of this because the price is just not really going anywhere. So you can see it's just hovering underneath that buy threshold, that sell threshold, and it stopped us out. So there we go. The market has gone down. It's what's that range? That range is 10 points from top to bottom. So it's really nothing, and that's the entire range. So if you're entering the trade halfway in the middle, you've got plus or minus 5 points either side. It's really not going very, very far at all. So that's just what happens on occasions. I said the intention is not to trade. In fact, some of your best decisions will be never to trade. Yeah, that's what 6, 7, 7, 8. Yeah, it's about 10 points, isn't it, from where that cursor's just been? So it's really not going anywhere. Bit of a characteristic of a Friday, I've noticed. The Asian stock market's closed by this point, so there's no more Asian stock market that's going to drive anything for the next 2 days. And the FTSE tends to be a little bit lackluster on a Friday. It's only got the New York Stock Exchange to open. Of the big three, indexes, Tokyo, London, and New York. So it's like everybody's kind of playing it safe and not wanting to commit too much on a Friday. And that's kind of what I've noticed and witnessed. So it's not unusual that you'll get a relatively benign day on a Friday. That doesn't mean Monday is disproportionately active. Haven't really noticed that either. Mondays can be pretty slow as well. But yeah, it's just a little bit of a characteristic of a Friday. Tends to not move quite as much, quite as often. But there is another potential trade coming up here. And so again, it's not a case of just trying your luck. It's a case of placing trades with certainty. And I think you can see That's just about going into profit there. Remember, we haven't got quite the volatility to move things into profit really, really quickly, which is why it hovered a little bit. But back into profit there, stop loss in place, absolute cardinal sin not to put your stop loss in place. And now it's a case of what we're sort of 30 quid up, £20 at the moment, 30, £40. Again, if you take your 30s and £40, you don't get your 150s and your £200. So you have to accept sometimes that it's going to go back against you, but that's the price that you've got to pay for actually getting the larger profits. So 72, £79 now. You can see it's going down, but it's not really going down with much force. It really doesn't want to move down very much. And I think, as I said yesterday, you tend to get a lot of positions taken around plus and minus 10 points around the 50 mark. So 6,750 plus 10 points, 6,760, and you can see that was bouncing off not far off 6,760. So there's a lot of positions around there. So it's kind of hard to punch through, to be perfectly honest, if you don't have the impetus or probably the will of the traders to do that. So a Friday is a bit like that. So it's been hovering in profit for quite a long time, but it's just not really going anywhere. But for 30 quid, might as well just leave it. Something might happen. But to be honest, it is actually giving me an indication there that probably it's not going to happen. Yeah, it's worth it. It's worth leaving it, even if it goes to zero. Don't regret doing that. So that's a day when, the market doesn't want to move too much, but no mistakes made. That's the most important thing.